Welcome once again to this wonderful program, Kingdom Business Network. This is your business program, and we're so excited to bring it to you today. And I know you're going to be blessed. You're going to have tips on how you can run your business. Today we have a very interesting topic on unlocking opportunities and where to find money. Might be you've ever wondered, where is this money found? Today we have somebody who's going to help us unpack where to find money. And I tell you, this is going to be very interesting. I was discussing with him and he was telling me money has a spirit, has a soul, and has a body. And I'm also waiting to hear all this. And this will really usher you to the next level in understanding money and where to find it. So stay tuned, tag a friend, let them come and listen. In case you're watching us on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe, and you'll help us with the algorithm. On my immediate left is my co-host Enoch. Enoch, you can introduce yourself.
Well, thank you so much, Doc. I'm really excited to be here, part of this show.
Yeah.
My name is Enoch from House of Faith, and as we all know, we are in a dispensation where the young people are looking for answers. They have not found the answers for the financial predicament they are going through right now, and we all know that we've seen them expressing their sentiments on social media, on the streets, some even as far as the sanctuary, looking for these answers. So having this conversation to help us address this question, where the money is, it's very timely, and having it from one of the oracles in this nation, Dr. Jackson, I'm really excited and I can't wait to dive in. So for the young people, stay tuned. This is our time, and God bless you.
Welcome very much, Enoch. And on my immediate right is a host, is our guest, who is going to unpack this topic to us, Bishop Dr. Jackson Kingori. Welcome, Bishop.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mugai, and thank you, Enoch, for the opportunity to be here this morning and be able to have a conversation on how we can be able to tap the much money out there.
Yes.
Yes.
So your topic is very interesting today.
I believe it is.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear from you. Does money get lost, or can you find it somewhere? Let me just ask an off-the-cuff question.
Money does not get lost if you understand the dimensions or the dynamics of money. Mm-hmm. And as we delve into this topic, you'll be surprised to understand that money is a tripod. Mm. And what I mean by that is that if you remember the scripture in the book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 24, it says clearly that no man can serve two masters. Mm. And then it goes on to say that either you hate one and love the other. Mm. It goes on to say that you cannot serve God and mammon. Mm. Now mammon in Hebrew means money.
Yes.
Or money worth.
Yes.
And so if we can start there, we need to understand that money is a god by itself.
Yes.
And so just like God will use the human body to accomplish its purpose here on earth, the same way money will need a body and a spirit and a soul to accomplish its purpose here.
Yes.
So those dynamics are very important.
Yes.
And I can go on to say that money is universal, but currency is geographical. Mm-hmm. In other words, the spirit of money is all over the world. Mm-hmm. But then when you come to every territory or every geographical area, it has got its own currency. Mm-hmm. So that's good to understand. Mm-hmm. So why do I say money is tripod? I say money is tripod because number one is that there are three things you can do with money. Mm-hmm. Either you can waste it, meaning that most people will get money and just use it anyhowly without any thought. Or you can spend it, meaning that you can live lavishly. Yes. Or too much, just use it for the normal daily uses. Or you can also invest. Like the Bible says, a wise man invests.
Invest, yes.
Exactly. So that's the first part of tripod of money. Yes.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Let me take you back to money is a god.
Yes.
I've always wondered why the Bible says you cannot serve both God and money.
Yes.
And you see, it elevates money to a very, very high level. Very, very high level. Because actually, as you're saying, it's actually elevated money to the level of a God with a small g. Because you have the main God with a capital G.
Exactly.
And then the other small God, money,
Yes.
with a small g.
Yes.
And you'd even have said there's a devil there, but it happens to be money who takes that position.
Exactly.
People say, or rather the Bible says that the love of money is the root cause of all evil.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that so that we don't confuse that about, we don't have that confusion about money?
Yes.
In terms of the love of it, or and the having it, or the using it, or it being a servant.
Yes.
Maybe elaborate that a bit.
It goes back to the same scripture I quoted in the book of Matthew chapter 6 that talks about serving two masters. And it goes on to say, you cannot love God and love mammon. And since we have established that money is a god called mammon, I think that scripture where it says that if you love mammon, or if you love money more than you love God, then it becomes the root of all evil.
The love of money.
The love of money.
Not money itself.
Not money. But it's just like, for example, we talk about idol. If you love something that becomes an idol more than God, that itself is evil. But the item itself, for example, whether it's a chair, whether it's a cow or an elephant, there's nothing wrong with those things. But it is the placement of your feelings and affection towards it that makes it to be condemned. Yes.
Wonderful. Yeah. What's your thought about that, Enoch?
Well, this is a very interesting subject, and I love the way Bishop has alluded to the fact that it is the love of this avatar, the money. And you've also helped us understand the different forms of money, meaning money is not it should not be understood in one form. It takes different forms. And now the challenge is, we as the young people, when you take away the love, it kind of just juxtaposes us to now take away the passion to pursue this money. And yet when we learn, we must pursue, this money with gusto and with everything that we have in us. So now you have really, in a way, kind of removed that passion. I don't know how you can explain that, because for us to get the money, we must pursue it. So now how do we get now this money if we remove the love for it?
Okay. Let me also say that money has a past, and money has a present, and money has a future. And if you look at all those components, it kind of points you to the way also God works. Because when we talk about the past, the present, and the future, those are the attributes of God. He's the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And the same thing, money can be looked at. When you talk about money has a past, you talk about the past where you have to pay your bills or your loans, whatever it is, things that you incurred in the past. And then the present, meaning that there are obligations that you have to meet, like, for example, your utility bills, things that you have to do on a day-to-day basis. And then the future, again, talks about savings, keeping some money for tomorrow. So that's another tripart dimension of money. I want to a little bit elaborate on this area of the other one, which is more critical here to understand. When you say that money is a spirit, what do you mean? Now, the spirit, as you know, is what controls our impulse, our decisions. It is the human part of a human being. Now, that's what I'm saying, that money itself is a spirit, which is now called mammon, the god mammon. Now, the other part of it is what you say, money has a soul. And what does that mean? It means that money is, the soul of money is the value of money in the marketplace. Is the value of money in the marketplace. A good example is, you have 1,000 Kenyan shillings, he has $1,000, I have 1,000, say, kwacha. Now, that 1,000 has a different value in the marketplace. It is not the same. Because the shillings, the dollar is quite different at the marketplace. And that's what we're saying, money has a soul. The soul of money is the value of that money in the marketplace.
Okay.
Now, when you say money has a body, that is now the currency, the hard paper you carry, that represents money. And that's why the body requires the soul, requires the spirit to function. So the money that you have in the pocket, which is just a paper, in it has the value, which is now the soul, and it has the spirit. You get the point? Now, coming back to your question,
Yes.
if you're able to understand how money works, then you come to also to appreciate that money is also needed as a transactional media for anything. And so if we remove the love of money completely, the passion for money, and not equate it to God with a capital G that we believe in, then money becomes important and needed instrument for our living. And I think we'll go ahead and discuss about how do you get that money.
Sure.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Let's go back to the spirit of money.
Yes.
I'm just thinking, can I say that the spirit of money refers to a mindset and the attitudes that we hold about money, our fears, our beliefs, and aspirations related to wealth,
Yes.
and how this spirit influences how we handle money. Would I be right by saying that that spirit also refers to the mindset and attitudes?
No, you're right. You're right. Exactly. Exactly. You're right. It is actually, well, you see, again, when we talk about the human body, the human body has a spirit, it has a soul, and has a mind. Now, when we talk about the spirit has four compartments. The first one is what we call the God conscious compartment, which helps you to discern between right and wrong. And that can be found in the book of Romans chapter 9, verses 11. Then the other compartment is what we call the fellowship compartment, which allows us to contact and commune with God, to have fellowship with God. And that can be found in the book of John chapter 4, verse 24, I believe. And the last compartment of the spirit is what we call the intuition compartment, that helps you the ability to sense and to feel in our spirit. That is the spirit part of man. Now, when you go to the other, what we call the soul has four compartments. The first compartment is now the mind you're talking about. You have the mind, which is actually the central processing unit of the human body. That is the mind. It is the storage of your life. And that mind has three windows. Namely, it has what you call as the past, which is the memory. Then it also has what you call as the present, which is actually plays your imagination, or we call it the imagination window. And then it has also what you call your future. Now, and the second aspect or compartment of the soul is your will. You are will as a person. Now, your will is that part of you that helps you decide between right and wrong, or make a choice. And the third compartment is your emotions. They are all in your soul. And the fourth one is your intellect. That forms what you call your soul. Now, the last part of the body is, we need to understand the body has five compartments, and we all know that. For example, the five senses. Your sight, your eyes, your nose, the smell, the sound through the ears, your taste through the mouth, and the touch. Those are the five compartments of the body. So all those aspects can be, if you take it further, can be applied also to the three tripart of money. But that's another subject for another day. Yes.
So let's still stick to the spirit of money.
Yes.
How can the spirit of money influence our financial success?
The spirit of money. It can influence if it is done in the right in the right dimension, or done it right. Like we did mention that if you remove your passion, in other words, you don't allow the passion for money to command you. Let me put it this way. I believe that money is supposed to work for me, but not me working for money.
For money, yes.
In other words, we need to command our money what to do as the money commanding us to do. And that's a big difference, Dr. Mungai, because you realize that the people, when they have money, is like they have no control. They're being controlled by the spirit of money. And that's why you find most people will go into wicked things to try to appease the pleasure of the body. But if you control money and understand that money has been given to us to use it to expand the kingdom of God, in other words, we have control of money, then it becomes a beneficial tool to the needs of humanity. Yes.
What do you read about this, Enoch?
Well, I love the discussion, and I'm really internalizing it. When you talk about the 4 compartments, it really gives me now an understanding of how not to be limited when I'm trying to dissect this avatar money. You've talked about us not working for money. We would rather money work for us.
Yes.
And look at it, the bigger picture, the best percentage of the people are really working for the money. Because when you look at now the cash flow quadrant, there's a quadrant that talks about employees. There are very many. Talk about the self-employed, a good number. Now there is the business owners and the investors. Now that is a very small percentage. Most of us are employed or self-employed. So it is really now giving me an understanding, and I'm really ready for you to help me understand how do I cross over from that space of me pursuing the money, because that's where the majority of the young people and probably the population is, to now go to the other side where you say to me that money should work for me, not me working for the money. I think that is something that I'm really interested in.
And I think as we go to discover where money is, that is one of the areas you find money is. Money is in work. You find money in work as opposed to job. Doing a job, you're working for money.
Yes.
But when you work, money is working for you. Throughout the Bible, the Bible says God will bless the works of our hands. And it also says, if you don't work, you don't eat. The Bible talks about work. It does not talk about job. What is work then? Work is what you are wired and created for. It's what gives you pleasure. And work does not necessarily that it comes with money. You can work and not get money and be fulfilled. I'll give a good example. Joseph, when he was working in the palace, he was not getting any money. But he did that work with all the passion. And because of realizing the gifting that he had in work, he ended up helping to be promoted to be the prime minister of Egypt, because he put all his heart in the work. The same thing applies to Daniel. He was faithful, he was loyal, and although he started from the lowest, he became significant. So what I'm saying is that job is what we do because we have that need that we need filling. But if we see that job as work, meaning that it's not just a job, it's a work we are doing with our hearts there, and so whatever we get from that job, whether it's compensation, then we know how to use that compensation, being a good steward of the compensation, to be able to propagate and to do other things that adds up to glorify the one who sent us here with a purpose, and that is God. It can be complicated, but yes.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because there are lots of people who actually go to a job from 8 to 5, and they are there simply because they're going to be paid. and they are constantly watching or looking at their watches
Yes.
for 5 to come.
Exactly.
After 5, the person is the first one at the gate taking off. But somebody who is working
Yes.
has a purpose.
Exactly.
Has a desire to be there.
Yes.
And he's not there because he's being paid.
Yes.
He's not looking at his watch.
Exactly.
He's actually going there to fulfill a task. There's something he's supposed to accomplish today.
Yes.
And he'll be at it until it's done.
Exactly.
Whether that is 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., you might be chasing the person.
Yes.
But him, he just wants to finish the work that he has set to do.
Exactly.
And I've seen that in a lot of organizations. Because you'll find the people who just come for a job, 8 to 5, they never get promoted.
No.
But you'll find somebody who sits late.
Yes.
And the guys who do 8 to 5 don't like this other guy who is actually on his work.
Yeah.
And is actually his timing is controlled by his work. I worked for a boss once who said, I've employed you, but remember, I've not employed you to work 8 to 5. You work until you finish your work. If you finish your work at 10, go home.
Exactly.
If you finish it at 1 at midday, go home. If you finish it at 3 p.m. in the night, go home at that time. Don't look at your watch.
Yes.
And it's changed my life. I don't know what you have to say about that.
And you see, it is work that generates you, it is work that leads you to meet your needs.
Yes.
I'll give a good example. Birds fly all the time. Fish swim. Is flying work?
No.
It's working.
It's working.
When you work, when they are flying, they're working. When the fish are swimming, they work. Okay. Who pays them? Nobody. But their needs are met. That's what the Bible says. Their needs are met. So if we can have this understanding that whatever. Another good example. Today, if you ask how many people are looking for work, you probably get few people. But if you ask how many people are looking for a job, almost everybody is looking for a job.
The majority.
Yes. Because people have not understand that what sustains you is not a job. It is work. Because in work, your passions are in that place. And it's that work, dedication, like Dr. Mugai is saying, that brings out your gifting. And your gift will make a way for you. So our young people, what I would encourage them is that there's a lot of work out there. A lot of work. Let me give a good example. Today, many people don't want to do the menu jobs. By the way, you know what they say, menu jobs. There's nothing like a menu job. It's all in the mindset. If you ask people, do you want to be a plumber? You don't get many plumbers. Or do you want to be a mower, to clean, to cut glass? They don't do that. But the by end of it, we still use, even the rich person is still using that which they don't want. Okay? So I'm trying to make people understand here that if we want to work, there is a lot of work available. You just need to create passion for that. And as you do that work, it will take you from that level where it may look lowly to a place of preeminence, and you'll be fulfilled. Because if you're doing a work with all your heart, your boss, like you say, will recognize you and be promoted. So it's important that we stop seeing what we do as a job and see it as work.
As work.
Yes.
So work is very, very important.
Very important.
And I know you've worked, you've been in the US for long.
Yes.
And you've also been in Kenya for long, also equally.
Yes.
What advice do you have for young people as far as work is concerned? When you compare the two economies,
yes,
do you see a situation whereby there's a lot of work among mentality with the people in the US and a job mentality with the people in Kenya? How do you compare the two economies and the mindsets?
It's a big difference. It's like night and day. In the US, people don't care what they are doing. What they care is the return of what they're doing. You can be let me give you an example. Personally, work does not define me. I define the work. And I give an example. When I left this country, I was a general manager, making quite a lot of money. In fact, my last paycheck was 150,000 shillings. That was way back in 1994.
It's a lot of money.
A lot of money. I go to the US. I couldn't get that kind of job I was doing. But I knew that I had the potential to rise and be where I was. So what do? I take what's available. I started doing many jobs. Quite bad jobs. I cleaned bathrooms. But you see, that cleaning bathroom or making tea did not define me because I knew my worth for work. And within no time, I was able to rise back again to where I was and even supersede. You get the point? In the US, people don't care the tag that people give to work. What they care is, am I able to get my living? And they also know that whatever you're doing is a bridge to the next level. Now here, people are very classy. And there's a lot of discrimination. We say this guy there's no job or no work. I don't believe in it. When I drive around and I see how mess the streets are, or how bushy the roads are, that's a lot of work that people will be given. Yes,
we just somebody can start a company just doing that, and somebody will pay him.
Just contract. Just contract. So there's a lot of opportunities. It's a question of understanding and moving our minds to what we call entitlement, that the government owes me, they must employ me. In fact, I must say here, it's good that the government has no jobs because it brings creativity in people to start being creative and asking yourself, what can I do for myself and for the country? But when we have this entitlement mentality that the government owes me a job, then our minds will never be opened up to other opportunities that we can create. Yes.
If I hear you right, in seeking to do the work, not the job, it's very important for somebody to look for something that he or she is passionate about.
Yes.
Something that you can do without being paid by anybody.
Exactly.
So at what point does that which you're passionate about, the work, that you're not being paid for, at what point does it turn to be something that earns you money?
If you study at an early age, knowing what you want to do, and I think that's one of the difference you have the system in the US, because a child who is as early as 13, they want to know what they know what they want to do. So the system aligns them to that interest. So if you can try to divert the energy or try to help our young people discover their strength and create opportunities in those areas. A good example is, for example, there are people who know very well that they love to play keyboard. They may have been trained as engineers, but that's not where the passion is. So once you come to discover that I'm a keyboard player, it may not give me the money that an engineer can give me, but that's where my passion is. So once you discover that, then you do it regardless of the pay. And in no time, that which you love will make a way for you. So I think it's a question of trying to align people to their desires, to their passion, and giving them space to grow in that area. Because we have a lot of misplacement of people doing things they don't like. And because of it, you have a lot of wastage. Because of it, you have people who are disgruntled because they're being asked to do things they don't like. So my prayer is that people can find their niche of calling or their niche of interest and maximize on it. Because only then can you know your purpose, why you are in this world, your purpose in that area. Yeah,
that's very interesting. I think we have exhausted the first part of our program. We are going to take a short break, and after we come from the short break, I would want to hear from you. What about the point? I still want to come back to the question that I asked you. You are so passionate about this keyboard, for example.
Yes.
And you've been passionate about it, but you need to put food on the table. what advice do you have in terms of holding on, in terms of the waiting period, in terms of commercializing that gift, that passion, you know? Because I hear somebody asking, he hasn't asked, but I think I'm asking for on his behalf. Yes, I'm passionate about this keyboard, but will it put food on the table? So pack that and you can pick it up after the break.
Okay.
And for those who are watching us, thank you very much for watching the first half. We'll pick the discussion from there and we'll go to where to find the money. We still haven't handled that. So in case you're watching us, please send us questions. There's a number on your screen. Send those questions and we'll pick questions for Dr. Kingori after this break. God bless you and stay tuned.
All of us want to succeed. Nobody here wants to fail. I have no doubt you have a deep-seated desire how to succeed, but you wonder how. There are principles in this book. I call them keys. There are 7 of them that I have elaborated, that I have discussed in this book, and I have no doubt when you read this book, well, you will succeed. 7 keys to success. I have no doubt when you read this book, you will succeed. Failure is not your place to be. You can be successful by reading 7 keys to success. Call that number, send a message, and we will respond to you and send you a copy of this book. God bless you and see you soon.
Welcome once again to Kingdom Business Network. We are discussing about money. And I know every one of us wants some money in our pocket. Before the break, I asked Dr. Kingori to elaborate on a question. And the question was, yes, I'm passionate about playing this keyboard. I'm passionate about the keyboard. I was trained as an engineer, but I've left my engineering job. I want to do what I'm passionate about. But the biggest question is how and when and how long can I hold before I put some money in my pocket? Because in the end of the day, I think somebody is asking, will I eat that keyboard? You know, I need to put money on food on the table. You know, how does my passion translate into an income? Might be Dr. Kingori, you can pick that from there.
I think what I can say is that first of all is to understand the work timeline, because people have this notion that I must be able to retire at 20 or 30, whatever it is. Those are your own timeline. But God's timeline may be different. So what I can say in short, and again, it's debatable, is if you find yourself in a place whereby that is not your niche, I think it's important that you hold onto that as a holding ground, or a stepping bridge. But continue to do all that you can to find your niche. So if you find yourself, you're graduated from college, and you need to put food on the table, and you have not identified or you have not found what you like to do, I would encourage you to take what is available, and don't be too choosy. Don't be too choosy. Just pick what is available, but don't settle for that. Keep believing. Keep expanding the horizon of your knowledge until you get to your destination. There are people who get there in 1 year's time. There are people who get there in 5 years' time. And there are people who get there in 10 years' time. Walk your journey and run your race. Don't look at others, because your life is different from other people. I think one of the biggest problems we have is we compare ourselves with other people. We graduate the same year, and so has already accomplished. Now, if you do that, you'll be discouraged. So do what you can, but keep your eyes to the prize of your passion and of your desire. And in the fullness of time, and more so if you're serving God and you believe in God, He will make sure that door is open for you. So patience is important, number one. Keeping your eyes on the prize of your passion is important. Secondly, broadening the scope of your knowledge, or preparing yourself in advance for the destination of your gifting. Yes.
So wait, it will come.
It will come.
If you are passionate about it,
it will come.
God will make a way.
It will.
I like that.
It will.
Now let's go to where to find money. You know, I also want to know. Because a lot of us are looking for it, and it looks like it is hiding itself somewhere. Where do you find money? And what are the traditional and conventional sources of money that people might not consider?
Let me start by saying that it is very important that we seek knowledge, because knowledge is everything. We're here today because of the knowledge that we have. There's a scripture I love most. In fact, two scriptures. The first one is Hosea chapter 4, verses 6b, that says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." Now, God is one speaking through Hosea. He says, "My people," meaning that even His own people can be destroyed because they lack knowledge.
Yes.
So it is important that at wherever you are, always seek to be knowledgeable. Okay? The other scripture I love is in Daniel chapter 11, verse 32. That says that the people who know their God shall be strong and do exploits. The converse of that is true, that says people who don't know God will be weak and they'll be exploited. So there's two things you need to find there: knowledge and knowing God. That should be the foundation upon which, even as you think about finding ways of knowing where money is, we need to come up with. Why do I say this? Because they say if you're not informed, you'll be deformed. If you're not informed on opportunities, you live a deformed life.
And if you're not updated, you'll be...
If you're not updated, you'll be outdated. Exactly.
Exactly.
And also, if you're not inspired, you also expire.
You'll be expired.
You get the point. So, and God cannot work in your life beyond your knowledge of Him. Similarly, your knowledge of something is very important, and that's why we're here today, so that our minds can be broadened in those areas we can look for money. Now you ask the question, what's the other question? The other thing I like to say,
sources.
Traditional sources.
And the unconventional sources also.
I don't know much about traditional or unconventional, because to me it's all about money. So I may not be able to know traditional and unconventional. All I can say is that there are many areas we can find money. And if you allow me, I can divulge the first one.
Yes, yes.
Number one, money is hidden in people. Money is hidden in people. The world has about 7 billion people. All these people have a need. If you can be able to identify the need in people, and you are able to confuse them, you can be able to unlock the money in them. So, first thing is know that people, my father used to tell me, I don't know, I don't know how to consult them. Yeah.
People are things. Actually, I will support you because as a marketer, I will tell you, a market is actually made of buyers and sellers.
Yes.
And the bigger the buyers, the number, the sheer number of the population.
Yes.
It's very enticing to a marketer.
Exactly.
So, like for example, when you talk about Kenya vis-a-vis East African community, somebody would value the East African community higher than the Kenyan market. Why?
Exactly.
Because East African community has might be 150 million people. Might be Kenya has only 50.
Exactly.
So the bigger the number of people, the better the market, and the more the opportunities.
There you are.
Yeah.
And also the fact that when you meet people in life, don't ignore them and don't assume them. One person can be the very person that will open the gates of your wealth. So appreciate people, know how to relate with people, and know how to appear before people. Let me give a good example. I have traveled extensively. In the course of traveling, I've met people who have come into my life just by the virtue of talking to them and gathering the courage, the boldness to introduce myself to them, tell them who I do, and finding who they are. And through that connection that develops because of appreciation for people, I've been able to bridge gaps. Get the point? Right now, as I speak, there are people who want to invest in Kenya. The gap is, how do you know those people? Because if you know them, then you can be able to talk to them. Now, many of us are afraid talking to people, particularly strangers. But I'm trying to encourage everybody who is watching me today that when you meet people, talk to them. We call it the ministry of talkology. Talkology. The worst they can do is number you or put you off. So what? You know, die? Talk to them. Introduce yourself. I give you an example. The campus we have in the US, it came by meeting somebody and telling him who we are. And the next time he told me, come to the bank, and he gave us a loan 3 million. Wow. If I didn't talk to them, that facility would not have been there.
3 million, talking of Kenyan shillings?
Dollars.
US dollars.
US dollars. Just meeting them and telling them my need.
Wow.
So I'm encouraging people who are here today, don't be afraid of people. When you meet people, talk to them. And as you drive the discussion, you'll be surprised. They may be the very person with the key to a next level. So money hides in people. Yes.
That's how you create your networks.
That's how you create your network.
And determines your net worth. Somebody said.
Thank you.
The relationship.
Exactly.
So any other next?
After that, it's good to understand that money hides in problems.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Money hides in problems.
Yes. As a marketer, I support you 100% because the moment I see a problem in somebody, then I know I can make a solution and make some money out of it.
Exactly.
Let me hear from you.
Exactly. People don't celebrate you for the problems that you identify. It's actually for the problems you solve. So it's important to be a problem solver and to look for opportunities of how you can solve people's problem. That's very important. A good example is of these two missionaries. One guy was sent to a very dry, primitive community. And when he got there, all that he saw are problems. But he never thought about solutions. So he felt very discouraged. And he said, I can't stay with these people. There's no water. They don't put shoes. They don't put clothes. So he quit. So somebody else came. When he came, he realized, wow, what a great opportunity here. I can get them shoes, I could get them clothes.
Yeah.
And so he started getting those things. So he became a problem solver. And in short, he was able to settle comfortably and to have a business. So when you look wherever you are, there are problems all over.
Yeah, exactly.
Look for solutions. And when you become a problem solver, then you will get money, because money is hidden in solving people's problem.
I remember a gentleman we interviewed in this program,
Yeah.
and he's an engineer, and he had a job.
Yes.
As we started talking about jobs and work.
Yes.
And he was posted in Kajiado, if I remember correctly. And in the course of his job, he realized something strange, or rather, the weather in Kajiado is such that it's very hot, and the heat was really disturbing him.
Yes.
But then one day, much as he complained about the heat, something dawned on him.
Yes.
The sun is too hot. What can I do with it? And from that point was born his solar company.
You see? Yeah.
Because of the problem of heat.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
it caused him to think. So a lot of the people who are listening to us,
Yes.
we always get into the mindset of complaining about what the government is not doing, how the economy is, our friends, where we live.
Yes.
Problems, we just see problems.
Yes.
But can you turn it around for once? And that big problem that you see is actually an opportunity.
It is.
If you came up with a way to solve that problem,
Yes.
I assure you there are hundreds and thousands of people who have the same problem.
Exactly.
And if you think differently, you actually become the solution to the problem you have and the people have.
Exactly.
And you'll make money.
And that's where the Western has beat us in Africa. Because they are always looking for opportunities on how to meet a need. So we need to pray that the Lord will open up our minds to be able to see these opportunities that exist, whether in our churches, whether in our communities, whether in our homes, and just ask, what can I do? And I can tell you, to be honest with you, this is something that requires you to withdraw, even for it, to have a dream on yourself, or to go to a prayer center, so that your eyes may be opened and say, I can solve this problem. And then from there, the Lord will guide you on how to do it. But there are opportunities. If all of us can think that dimension, I can tell you without a shadow of doubt, this country would be full of entrepreneurs and employers by solving problems.
I actually reminded about something I was reading yesterday, and this is about a restaurant. And this restaurant, somebody went to a restaurant, and then he had people buying, let's say, 2 coffees and 4 hanging. Somebody comes and he says, I want pizza, 1 pizza, and 2 hanging. So he's charged for the price of 3 pizza.
Yes.
And I was wondering, what is this hanging thing? What he didn't realize is that the restaurant owner discovered there's a lot of homeless people. And he realized the way he can be able to address that problem is by getting the people who come to his restaurant to buy food, to buy for themselves, and to buy for somebody else.
Amen.
And then what happens is that when you hear hanging, so you buy 1 and 1 hanging, that means you paid for 2.
Yes.
The receipt for the second one is actually pinned outside the restaurant. And any homeless person or somebody who has not eaten and cannot afford will come and see this is a pizza. He'll take the receipt, comes to the counter and presents it. And he's given the food. So you see, the restaurant owner has solved 2 problems. One, he has solved the problem of hunger in his community. So he's feeding people. Number 2 is given the person who wants to help somebody in an organized way.
Exactly.
You see, like we go to the streets in Nairobi, and people are saying, don't give the beggars money because they'll take guru and all that. So that problem is solved. Number 3, he has put a social aspect to his business. And by doing so, a lot of people want to come and buy food there. Because by buying food and giving 1 hanging or 2 hanging, they are able to help somebody else. So he's also improved his business.
I love it.
So you can imagine that kind of thinking. He's solving problems.
He's solving problem. Yeah.
And money is coming.
And money is coming.
Okay.
Wonderful. The third one is money hides in talents.
Okay.
And gifts and potential. There's a lot of money that is hidden in talents. before we were born, all of us in this world, God had something in us, or God had already put in place something to sustain us before we were born. Because he says, I knew you before you were born. Now, that which God had in you is called a talent and potential. And your gold is tied to your gifts. I hope you get that.
Yes.
Your gold is tied to your gifts. Your treasure is tied to your talents. And your profit is tied to your potential. Meaning, if only you can discover your gifting, your potential, and your talent, I can tell you, you will be the next millionaire the world has not seen. If you go to the community, there are books, Dr. Mungai, that have not been written. There are experiences that have been packaged. There are talents of musicians that have not been discovered. So we need to have a mechanism to help our young people to discover their giftings, their talents, and their potential. And all that is required is package them, blood them, and they sell.
Wow.
And that will be an explosion of income of money. Think about it.
I've seen people with talents, let's say like running, is that a talent?
Yes.
And you can see how they are breaking the world record. And in Kenya, I think we produce a lot of those kind of people.
Yes.
Football is a talent.
It is.
I mean, those skills.
Yes.
You know, and people are making, I look at some of the footballers, the kind of money they are paid. You calculate with the Kenya shilling, I mean, to convert to Kenya shillings, the calculator goes to one end to the other, you know. It goes haywire. You can't even believe, and somebody's earning, might be 50 million Kenya shillings a week.
Exactly.
Not even a month.
Exactly.
You can't even comprehend that kind of a figure. And it's all in football, tennis, whatever.
Yes.
So those are things that people can do.
And not even that, because those are known already. The other day I'm thinking we have some, a group of people who are getting elderly. And they are going back in the rural areas. And I'm thinking, what can be done to these elderly people? And I started thinking, if we can get someone to organize these elderly people, women and men, that are in the age of 70s, 80s, that have nothing to do, they either go to town or they go to the shopping center doing nothing, and create a community activity of a competition, and create a competition within their age groups. I can tell you that's another source of income, because there are many companies that are going to sponsor such needs of the elderly, but create that activity. There are many opportunities. All that you need to is think outside the box. Yes.
Where else do you get money?
Where else do you get money?
We'll continue with that next time.
Well, also, another area is, and we just mentioned in passing, money is also hidden in opportunities. Money is hidden in opportunities. During COVID, I came to discover there is so much potential that people never knew before opportunities.
Yes.
This Zoom we're doing was there, but it was not blot out.
Yes.
Church without borders. There are churches that grew beyond their capacities during COVID. Home service industry increased. Family discovered ways of working together. Those are opportunities that come sometimes even in most difficult times. You get the point? And we need to know how to identify opportunities at every moment. And we need to know how to maximize those opportunities. So that's another area. Everywhere you are, I can tell you there are thousands of opportunities. It's only that our eyes are narrow and our minds are closed. Even right now as you speak, we need to start stretching, like the Bible in the book of Isaiah, stretch out your curtains and see what is in store for us. There are opportunities that are there right now. And maybe we need to have a seminar of brainstorming and start dissecting communities.
Communities,
Whether it's a church community, whether it's a network community, whether it's the Gen Z community, and start addressing what are these opportunities that we can maximize. Right now we have Gen Z. There are opportunities right now that are there for Gen Z that can develop. Already you've seen when, for example, in politics, the guys in the politics are very fast. When the deputy president had, issues, the village, I'm a villager.
Yes. It became a logo.
Exactly.
A slogan.
Exactly. And they started making money. So there are many, money hides in opportunities. The other area, because of time, money hides in ideas. Money hides in ideas. The world is ruled by ideas. Inventors and innovators use their creative ideas to create. And ideas, I want to say ideas are divinely downloaded. And I think we need to be praying God to give us divine ideas so that we can be innovators and creators. People who innovated the airplane or people who innovated the light bulbs. Those were divinely downloaded. And as children of God, how much more can God entrust us with those divine ideas? And one idea or one innovation, you can be the next Bill Gates.
Wow. Just an idea.
Just an idea, that comes from God. And then you labor through it. And then you work on it. So, and the Bible says in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 9 says, but as it is written, even the eye has not seen, neither the ear has heard, neither have we entered in the heart of man, the things that God has prepared for them that love him. If we sincerely love God, I believe this is something he can be able to open for us.
On ideas, I'm just reminded about a quote that small minds discuss people.
Yes.
And a lot of people just talk mushene.
Too bad.
That's udaku.
Yes.
Average minds discuss events.
Exactly.
But great minds discuss ideas.
Ideas, yes.
Now, because of time, let me take a few questions. Starting with Gen Z here, I'm Julius from Kajiado, watching live on Facebook. Anasema a very insightful conversation, alafu anasema nisalimiwe. So tumekusalimia lakini hatutarusha mawe. Peter here, getting you live and clear, watching this profound conversation, a must watch by faith. And then here is somebody saying, hi, I'm John. The topic is interesting, but I'm thinking, would it be advisable to rent out my car when I'm at the office? Are there dangers maybe? So he's asking about his car. I don't know that I want to go to that route, about renting. Then somebody is asking, I'm a Christian, but the jobs I'm finding someone contradicts with my beliefs, like becoming a bartender. What should I do? My name is Alex.
Good question. I think anything that conflicts your convictions or conflicts your faith, I would put on hold and trust God for an opening where I feel I'm free. Yeah. In simple terms, I would say, if it conflicts your faith and your convictions, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Still coming back to the first question on John, I get the question properly. He's looking at a business opportunity whereby he's saying he's in the office and he has a car out there. Can he rent it out?
That's a good question. That's what we're talking about again, thinking out of the box. The answer is you can, but the question who? Now, this is now where if you're in the community of faith, you can approach a church, because within the church there are people who are looking for a car to rent or to lease, and talk to a pastor and say, I have this car, if you know anybody who's credible, that you can vouch, the car is available. So connection can be able to be an avenue for you, because again, you don't want to be out there. You don't know. You have no clue who you're renting. But within boundaries, you can get a community of serious people and people who are responsible. For example, I know people from diaspora who come here all the time. They're looking for cars to lease.
To lease, yes.
So if I know someone like that has a car, I just put them in my database. Anybody come to the diaspora, I can connect them, and that becomes a source of income. Yes.
Wonderful. Somebody from Jane from Roca is asking, I have so many business ideas when I don't have money. So in other words, when she doesn't have money, the ideas are a lot. But after getting paid, the ideas run out and I end up consuming everything. What should I do?
For Jane, I'll tell you the best thing is if you have ideas, and they are serious ideas, the best thing is don't just think. Don't put them in the brain bank. Write it down. Write them down. And as you write them down, look for somebody that of a mentor level that you can discuss your ideas. In the US, there's a program where I can't remember the name we call it, whereby people just go to this forum, they discuss ideas, and people pick those ideas. They have the financial ability. They finance those ideas, and they give you a percentage of it. So that's something you can do. Share your idea with somebody who have the resources, and then you can become co-owners of the business if it's workable. But don't just think or dream about it. Lay them down. If they matter, write them down. Because once you write them down, then you can commit them before God, you can pray over them, and in the fullness of time, the Lord will be able to help you shift what is right and what's wrong. Yes.
And maybe if I could ask you, Jane here has a problem because the ideas are a lot. How does she filter those ideas to be that one idea that she'll commit and focus on?
Though I'm saying the best thing is first of all to write down those ideas. And as you write them down, with the time, first of all, because our mind is like a processing unit, we think so many things, but not everything that goes to our mind that is right. So as you write those down ideas, if it's an idea that has substance, you find that you keep thinking about that idea over and over. It keep recurring to your mind over again. And then you need to have somebody who can help you to shift through that idea. Someone like a mentor or somebody like in this forum. She can come and share with us those ideas. We can be able to help her to sift them through and see what is workable, what's not workable. Yes.
And then she should stick to that one idea.
Exactly.
That's, I think, where I was getting to.
Yes.
So she needs to stick to that one idea and
Yes.
stop every time thinking about so many things when she doesn't have money.
Exactly.
In other words, then she shifts from, she had so many ideas, she has shifted them. Now she has this one idea,
Yes.
which she commits to
Exactly.
every other month and starts putting money aside
Yes.
to actualize that idea.
And an idea that whereby it connects with your passion.
It connects with the passion.
Yes, that's very important.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kingori.
Thank you.
I can see our time is very much gone. And viewer, thank you very much for watching. It's always been a pleasure coming to your houses, coming to your phones, for your Facebook account, your YouTube, Faith Today Television. We are so glad that you're watching us. Without you, we would not be here. So I want to ask Enoch for your parting shots, and maybe something you can tell the viewer, and then Dr. Kingori.
Well, thank you so much, Doctor. I am so much excited, and I've really learned a lot. Thank you so much, Bishop Jackson. You've really enlightened me, and I must say that you have really now helped us now realign our passions, because as young people, the challenge has been that we pursue this money at whatever cost. You know, the love, the passion, and all the energy is pursuing this money. But now the way you have really built it for us, you have helped us now understand that it is important to realign our passions, understand that the source is God. You've talked about ideas, and that is something that is really key. When you talk about ideas, I feel when I also relate to the scriptures, I also appreciate that God works with ideas. You know, when you look at Proverbs 8, the Bible talks about wisdom being the mother of all witty inventions. So all the inventions that we are seeing, you know, the root is from, you know, scripture and things like that. And then also want to be digressing the world we are living in. You talked about the inventions. When you talk about Thomas Edison, he was credited for inventing the electric bulb and electricity. But when you look at it, I was studying where it really began. The credit goes to Nikola Tesla.
Thank you.
And you get the idea.
Yes.
And this was a guy who was in church.
Yes.
In fact, the mother was mentoring him
Yes.
to become a minister.
Yes.
But now, because he diverted his energy and, you know, into discovery and inventions,
Yes.
he ended up birthing something, though someone took the credit.
Yes.
And I really want to appreciate this conversation, because for us, the young people, it is helping us now know that church has so much to do. There is so much in God that can help us unlock these ideas. Because when you look at it, you talked about one important idea that I think that the young people need to catch. You talked about the elderly people. You know, these elderly people, that is the business overseas. When you look at the Middle East, statistics show us last year alone, 70,000 Kenyans went to the Middle East, and to be specific, Saudi Arabia, giving their services.
Yes.
What is the work they are giving? Domestic work, looking after the elderly, you know, doing construction businesses. The jobs that we really undermine here, they are really making money.
That's right.
So if a young person can now utilize that same idea on this ground here in Kenya or Uganda or any other part of East Africa, I think it can really help us. Because statistics also show us 20% of the African population, they're unemployed, and those are the young people. So having this discussion, I believe it's so timely. This is what we need. God bless you so much.
Thank you.
Amen.
Okay. Parting shot to the viewer.
And to the viewer, I want to encourage you to keep following Faith Today TV. Kingdom Business Network is the new deal. We are in our second year, and we promise to give you nothing but the best. Having such insights from an oracle in our nation and all over the world, it is something that we really need at this time when there's so much chaos and confusion. The right mentorship is on the Kingdom Business Network. Thank you so much. Remember to subscribe, leave us a comment, and God bless you.
Dr. Kingori, what's your parting shot to the viewer?
I would say thank you so much for this opportunity. And what I would like to say is that I'm looking forward for a time whereby we have people who have ideas and be matched with people who have funds, because there are people there that have money that want to invest on innovative ideas. I'm one of them, and there are many others out there. But we have to create a structure, a platform whereby we can meet, share ideas, see whether we buy that idea, and we finance it, because there are opportunities in this country that can lift up the Gen Z and the young people, and they can learn with it and they can make money. So I'm looking for an opportunity. And out of the discussion, I'm dreaming even now. And I'm looking forward to put that into action. Thanks so much.
I think what Dr. Kingori has said is a very powerful statement. And when you look at some of the things that have developed the great economies of this world, like America, is ideas. For you who is watching me, especially if you're Gen Z, tech savvy and all that, there's one program I would want you to also watch. And this is known as Shark Tank. Shark Tank is one of the programs whereby, as Dr. Kingori says, brings investors with the people with ideas. And I like watching it because it actually gives you an opportunity to listen to the kind of ideas that people have. And when they start presenting those ideas, more often than not, you'll not even understand what they are getting to. Because it looks something so simple, but yet it's a problem. And they discuss it, and they get people to fund. So two things here. You can get a way of generating ideas. You can borrow some of those ideas, and it will open your mind to think about how can I get funding. And Dr. Kingori is here. He's saying he's ready to fund ideas. Please get in touch with him if you have a fantastic idea. So with that, may God bless you very much. Stay tuned to this program. And thank you very much, Bishop Dr. Jackson Kingori, for gracing this wonderful program.
Thank you.
And I know I'm looking forward to a continuation for the same. God bless you very much, my dear viewer. God bless.
Thank you.